Now, what are your thoughts about your group, how they performed so far?
Pleased to coach those guys. They work extremely hard, very mature group, pretty good leadership, natural leaders. And so it's been fun to be around them and watch them be really detailed about what they do and how they go about their business. So we're excited.
Those first three guys get a lot of talk about them, Leo and Willie and Errol. We talk about those guys all the time, but Tim Washington's been here a long time. What's he bring to the linebacker room?
Tim, he's one of those guys who's really mature, like I was talking about. I've been really pleased with his work ethic. He put in a lot of work this spring, this fall. He's poised to have a good year. He's already in graduate school. He's a graduate, and so that just speaks to his work ethic and his character, and how he's really focused on doing the task at hand. So he's excited for his senior year, and as am I.
Your veteran linebackers have mentioned Aaron Brule as a guy that kind of stood out to them. They think could be the next great Mississippi State linebacker. What is your assessment of him?
Aaron is a talented player. He was recruited here before I got here, but I'm happy to coach him. He works his tail off. He comes from a really good program, had really good coaching, and he's continuing to develop each day. Obviously, he has a long way to go. All players do. So I'm excited to see how he develops as time goes along.
With what the defense lost up front, just how much can the linebackers help out those guys that maybe just don't have the experience as last year's group did?
This league is a big-time senior and junior league. I really believe that from just a body development standpoint and from a maturity standpoint and experience. One thing that I can say is Coach Dick Adams has done a phenomenal job with our D-line, and we have some players there who are really hungry, and we have really shown and proven that they are really good players in the making in this conference. And so we're excited. Obviously, every year, every team is different, and so age and experience varies, but we like the group that we have.
Why was this move to Mississippi State the right one for Coach Marve?
I believe and live in a very passionate and driven life, and I felt the good Lord was calling our family here. Obviously, the relationships that existed before Mississippi State obviously played a part and played a significant role. But at the end of the day, the good Lord had to say yes, and He did. And after that, the second big boss, my wife, had to say yes, and then she did, and so we're here.
Just with Errol, obviously, he's a guy that gets a lot of preseason recognition and stuff, but from spring to now, what's sort of been your assessment of where he's going, or what's been the next step for him?
Errol's extremely humble and has a ton of humility, considering the amount of attention that he's getting right now. If he was walking down the hallway and you didn't know who he was, you wouldn't know that was Errol Thompson. I think that's a credit to who he is and how he was raised by his family and how he's maturing and developing as a young man. It's been fun to watch him work. You wouldn't know that he has the accolades that he has, like I said, and he's been extremely detailed. He's solution oriented in terms of what's at hand, and he knows that this year is not last year. Everybody speaks extremely highly of what was done in 2018 by the defense and as a team as a whole, and as they should, because a lot was done. But he knows that this year is completely different, and that it's the year at hand, and that working towards that is what's important.
Is there anything from him that you see from on the field standpoint that you see as the next step for him in his maturation as a linebacker or anything like that, or is it?
Yeah, just recognition. Sure. He's a big time student of the game, so he studies it. He asks great questions. If we're installing a defense and it's at level 200, I would say he's probably asking a level 400 PhD student level type question before I even get done installing the defense, which just shows you he gets the big picture, right? And I wouldn't be surprised down the road if he's a coach.
This is your first time working with Leo, obviously, but do you see a guy that's got the hunger of maybe a senior, taking a leadership role and just really approaching things with a business-like fashion?
Yeah, I see him a lot, how I described Tim Washington, a lot how I described Errol. Very mature, very hungry, excited for the opportunity that's ahead. Very, very motivated, takes instruction well, knows football. He's played in a lot of different schemes, and to have some continuity this year in this scheme, and it's a little bit different having a new position coach, but having continuity in his scheme, I think, has helped him, and I'm excited to see what he'll do. He's had a phenomenal fall camp. And all he's done is work, and yes, so no, so to everything that I've asked him to do. So I'm excited to watch him work.
You mentioned that you wouldn't be surprised to see Errol become a coach one day. When you were playing, when did you kind of figure out that you wanted to be a coach, or did it come after your playing days?
When I was playing, I wasn't thinking about coaching. And so it came much further down the road. Actually, my wife kind of pointed out to me that she thought I was going to be a coach before I realized it. our wives usually know things before we do. And at least mine does. And so mine came much down the road. And obviously with Errol, he's playing right now. That's not a consideration that he's thinking about. And so it will be interesting to see him down the road.